Howdy ho again, everyone. It's your boy AA. Today we're going to be checking out a game called Dawn Apart. This is an automation colony management game. Imagine combining Factorio, RimWorld, and Minecraft into one voxel-based gumbo. We're managing a colony of workers, directing them to build automation and logistics mining equipment, and advancing to get better resources and create more complex recipes. Anyway, there are a couple of enemies planned for later on in development. Currently, the game is in early access. I've been sponsored today by Astrological. This game's developer is called Industrial Technology and Witchcraft, which I thought was probably the best name I'd ever heard for a game development studio. Anyway, I've already had the game on my list of many that I want to try, so they offered to sponsor, and I agreed since I already wanted to give it a try anyway. But this game contains Soylent Green, which is amazing. Your colonists can turn into Soylent Green, I am told, if you don't satisfy their needs. But anyway, we've got, like, basically survival, automation, and logistics, and there is quite a lot to be had here. Lanky, clean beaches are seen. I think we'll just go through a general, normal world. We're going to skip through the tutorial. But we've got to take a minute to just generate the game. All right, so we are just landing here on our planet in our ship, and we are working for a mining company. And they will make us into Soylent Green, I believe, if we fail to accomplish their objectives. So that is what is at stake right here. We have Daichi, Harumi, Yuka, and Shinji. Okay, so we got 4 crew members to start, and I think I'm just going to tell them to cut down some trees in the local area. I know that they look really beautiful, except that they're in the way of our industry. And it's a logistics game, and that means it's about deforestation. So let's go ahead and give them some just orders right here so that they'll actually get to work to begin with, and so that we can see the world around us. That'd be nice. All right, cut down more or less everything over here. Now, inside of our ship, which we can take a look at like this, we've got a couple of items in our stockpile zone. So we are going to take these out and start setting up a little base over here. At first, this is going to be kind of crude, but we do have some basic needs that we have to meet on each of our crew members. So we've got rest, health, so for attacks, if that eventually comes, which we won't have to deal with that right now, most probably, but loyalty, in case if they decide to mutiny if we don't meet their needs, I suppose. Restroom needs, as well as hunger and hygiene. So there are quite a lot of needs, but they are fairly manageable. Anyway, so we'll let them get to work on that. Each of our colonists does, so we've got events, so we've got our general story that we're following. For company, we've got, like, skills on each of our guys that they get from, you know, working on them a little bit more. So do we have wood cutting right here? Can we zoom in? Yeah, so when they use the skill, they're actually gaining a little bit of skill, so in kind of RimWorld-like way. Or insert your favorite colony management here. We've got a couple of priorities here. Mostly we're going to be kind of focusing on logistics, though, and we've got that, like, beautiful schedule. So we've got work. We've actually got a little bit of designated time for recreation. So hopefully we will be meeting more of those needs and not dying. Mark my words. Anyway, so they're just transporting things into our little stockpiles right here. So these are kind of like 3D cubes for stockpiles. But what we're trying to do is mine out this Lucrum 115, which is the resource that we trade to an off-world company, and hopefully become not Soylent Green. So we are going to, let's go ahead and maybe put out a few of our basic furniture items. So first off, I just wanted them to have like something to meet their basic needs, the restroom, as well as, well, we could give them privacy in here, but I think I want to keep the ship as it is. Let's get a toilet and a sink, as well as Mr. Soylent, which is basically a vending machine. That's all we get. We eat out of a vending machine, and I hope it gets better for us. Anyway, let me just continue time right here. So we've got sink, toilet, and Mr. Soylent. That sounded kind of poetic. Amazing. Anyway, we also are going to need some beds, so we're cutting down trees right now, and how are we going to handle those? Well, of course, we need a, excuse me for a minute, we need to go to a workbench. So let me just cover my colonist basic needs. First, we're going to put the workbench down there. So we got like a little house. I know it's not much of a house, but stop criticizing me. I'm doing my best. And we are going to take all of this, put down that workbench from our stockpile here. And look, oh my goodness, those voxels just get me so satisfied. We're going to queue some recipes for, we're going to create a carpenter's bench here. I believe we'll need some of that for working with this wood. And then we will get a couple of beds down in a moment. Actually, are we good on that? So we just got to queue some wood over there. They'll bring that over. So we're transporting everything manually right now, and we haven't really automated anything. All right, we've got iron over here, Lucrum 115 over here. Part of the reason I took down the trees was just so that I could see what was around me. And we have a giant hill in the way. Amazing. And then we have coal over here. So we want to take the coal and start to mine that out. We will just do a manual order for mining. And we're also going to manually mine out some copper. We'll just start with copper to start after they get that cutting down. Good. All right. So they are just kind of throwing the wood everywhere and putting it into the stockpile. You yearn for the mines. Can we deconstruct the ship? We can, but I'm going to leave it there for thematic effect. Maybe I will use it later on when I need it. But you are right. You're getting a step ahead of me, though. I'm not prepared for that yet. We could put down the Lucrum miner, except I don't think it's really time to do that yet. I would prefer to do this first. As well as, can we get down, okay, a furnace. All right, so I would like to get a furnace so that I can get some, I believe it's copper ingots right here. Whoops, did I actually just queue that? Oh, whoops, I queued it. My bad. I didn't actually mean to queue that. I might as well make one more. I think that's good. Okay, actually, no, not miners. Furnaces. Hang on a moment. I need to just kind of handle that. Anyway, let's go ahead and we've got missing ingredients. We should have that now. Okay, that is for the furnace. So let's get down our beds. Let me just put the horse in front of the cart right here. There's so many things to do. There really are a lot of systems in this game. All right, so we've got one furnace. Let's put that up maybe over... I guess we'll put it like over here, because eventually we will kind of set this out into a chain of belts and things like that, ideally, if we manage to get up to the automation, which it does take a little while to get there. So let's go ahead and put that down. Right now we've got to use coal to power this by hand. Back when I was a boy, we powered everything by coal with our hands. Notwithstanding, let's allow that to begin. Anyway, so you might notice like a little bit of voxel, like Minecraftiness here. So like there are tiny little pieces of voxel getting mined out of this. I'm not sure you can really see it right here with how they're mining by hand. But when we put down a miner, it's actually going to drill down like rectangular holes in the ground. Indeed. It's going to be a minute till it comes out though. Yeah, like space games. We've just had like a renaissance of space games lately. I am spending most of my summer in outer space. That being said, also Renizu, thank you for the sub. Let me see. So we're going to have a spaceport in a... actually, it's going to take a little while. Miners. We're going to need another one right here. But let me go ahead back to my mechanical workbench right here. So we've got that. We're going to need 40 copper ingots in order to get this. Oh, whoops, we don't have the recipe queued up here. So we're going to be making... we're going to be doing some coal. So let's go ahead, or whoops, copper, I mean. So let's go ahead and do that. And can we actually get an order there? We're going to tell them to mine. I'll let them get out some of these trees. Actually, that's pretty good. Let me just clear these orders. Clear assigned orders. Here we go. So let me just say that. Okay, you've done enough deforesting now. Stop doing that or I'll make you all into Soylent Green. So work harder and do better. All right, so we are doing a little bit of mining here, and we're bringing it all out into our stockpiles inside of our ship. We've actually got a lot of wood in there. That's nice. So next we're going to put down a, let's see, we've got a carpenter's bench. So this is separate from our regular workbench, which is like a mechanical type one. This is for all the wood that we're going to be working with. So we'll put that down there. One thing is, you don't speed up time in this game. So you've kind of got that Factorio element where you've got to stay with it, and you can't just like speed up time, you know, as it were in RimWorld, which I think kind of forces you to stay with the game, and I'll be curious where that goes when they get like more survival-y types of elements. Anyway, we're going to make a couple of beds here, maybe even as many as 3 beds. I mean, it's just so cheap to make a bed. Only 5 wood logs. Very, very affordable. In fact, let's make 4 because we're going to be getting more miners. And we'll put them right next to the toilet so that people will have to suffer through the stench of doo-doo and wee-wee when they go to bed at night. Anyway, we do have a little autosave here that's nice. Let me see. Missing ingredients. Missing ingredients. Why are we missing ingredients? So we've got the coal. We do have it in there. We need to get a little bit of this copper in. So are you gathering that up? It looks like he's bringing that over. So what they're probably going to do is put that into a stockpile zone at the base. It might be nice to actually just have a stockpile zone right here for copper for now. Let's put that down just so that they have somewhere a little bit closer by so that they don't have to walk in and out. Because right now I believe that they're just defaulting over to there. Okay, here we go. So we have created some copper ingots at last. Amazing. So once we get those out, we can start to make our way over to making miners so that we can start to do this process automatically, which is the entire purpose of automation games, of course. And then after this, we will create nuclear bombs, of course. So it is in exactly that order. Let's go ahead. Maybe we'll try to set these up somewhere else right now, but right now it's just going to sort of look like a human rights violation. We'll just put these beds out here into like some sort of like gulag-like configuration, and I hope it gets better for us. Look, they're not perfectly lined up. Oh, God, why? I'm just going to leave them like that. Imagine being able to put down beds, but they're not even perfectly lined up. Look at this man carrying 4 beds. You know, he was known to support an entire family in his life. Look at the sway of the foliage. It's just so beautiful, man. All right, so we've got some of the copper ingots coming out here. Where are they actually delivering those back? Can we get, like, a little bit more empty stack? I guess we could, like, prioritize, but whatever. We'll just let them do everything automatically based on however they've got it. So we've got a couple of messages we're going to go through. I'm just going to do a couple of these. We're not really in the tutorial, but we kind of have to do things according to mining contracts, so I will be opening up these messages as we go. Open up the message in your events window. Okay, I've done all of the things that it wanted me to. It sort of does give you a little bit of guidance and hand-holding, which I think is good for here. I also find that these colonists tend to be kind of well-behaved. It's not like RimWorld where everyone's going to be setting everything on fire immediately. We'll see if that continues or what happens, but for right now, it is what it is, and I think that's fine. Anyway, we're going to be making a mining drill. We've got to make the blueprint, but I believe we make this at the workbench, right? So we've got to start here. So let's go ahead. We've got 40 copper ingots now, and we can actually make one of these miners because the purpose, of course, of automation games isn't to be working by our hand forever, but to make drills to do it for us. So right now we are working in hard labor, and I hope it gets better for us. Can we actually see the tiny little voxels coming out? We will when we get to the machine. Another thing we can do here is to level some of the terrain off, which I might actually do over here, although this is an extremely high hill, and I don't want to have to do it completely, so we'll see if we have to do that. Anyway, okay, so we are now going to install our mining drill blueprint over here, and we will just start with the copper. And so that yellow highlighted area is going to be where it kind of mines out of. So we want to make sure that that's more or less on top of the copper over here. Let's do like, I'm just trying to think if I have to line these up. No, we'll just do it in a scuffed way, where we might have to do it, change the entire way it is later on and regret it. So anyway, we're going to put that down over there. So they've got that in storage somewhere. They've got like the tiny little prefab somewhere around here. No, I can't see it. Somewhere around here. Oh, that guy has it in his hands. See, there it is. Okay, so now he's going to put that down, and then it's going to poop out ore. All right, so we are going to probably clear off this order now, just because why would we be mining by hand when we can get a machine to do it? Like, why waste the time? So as you can see now, there are little lines of copper getting mined out, and I'm really curious what they do with this, because I feel as though the next great American game will combine like 3D voxel-based stuff with the RimWorld like colony management, and this is basically it. Like, this game is extremely ambitious. You will see as we start to like encounter more of the content. Cut priority changes to maximum. Okay, let me just go ahead and do that because the game wants me to. We have to go into our priorities, and I guess we'll just make somebody's cut priority maximum. Maybe not everybody. I don't really want them to just spend all their time cutting down trees, but let's cut down a few more because they are still in the way. I don't really see beauty in trees. I just see them as things that get in the way of industrialization. All right, let's go ahead and maybe do this over here. We have beautiful streams here. Look, there's just logs sitting in that river, man. What are they doing there? Okay, so we're finally ready to get a little bit of the Lucrum mining down, which is great because I was just trying to get rid of all the trees, and this bodes well for me. Also, Fluffy Goblin, thank you very much for the prime. We are going to put down... Oh, we're just getting another autosave. I really like the autosave. Yeah, I did lose one of my saves, so it comes back at very regular intervals, and it is very nice. So, jolly good, jolly good. Let's continue over here then. So we're going to output this over here. I guess we'll try to make sure more of our resources eventually kind of get automated into this area. I'm going to try to keep these kind of close together. I don't even know if I'm going to use this stockpile. Anyway, we're going to start getting this Lucrum 115 out. And maybe we'll put like a landing pad right around here. Now, this ground looks fairly level to me already, which bodes well for a landing pad because we're going to have large ships coming in and out. Maybe we'll even level just a little bit more just so that I can kind of show you how some of the terrain looks. Yeah, see, this area is nice and level. Let's see if we can level off maybe even a little bit more of this hill right here just so we can get a look at what that appears like. Automation is the key to efficiency. I think I've already done most of this. I am a genius after all, and I have a huge brain. Okay, so we're going to be placing our spaceport momentarily. So we're putting out Lucrum 115. The most lucrative, see what I did there, resource in the galaxy. I'm getting some like Dyson Sphere program vibes here, which is making me happy. Hang on a second, I'm just gotta get a sip of water. All right. Have I set everything on fire yet? No, but I mean probably in any of these types of games where we have Soylent Green mentioned. Actually, I believe it's Soylent Red in this game. We're bound to commit some sort of horrible human rights violation by the end of the hour. So let's go ahead and put down a spaceport. Maybe right about there. And see, we do need level ground for the spaceport. So, oh, that's kind of funny. That's not actually perfectly level there. Blocked by obstacle. Should I wait a little bit longer? Nah, let's just put it down there. We'll worry about it later. I want to make some room, though, for things and activities. You know, it might actually be nice to, if we did it like that. Nah, that looked pretty good to begin with. I don't know. We'll just cross that bridge when we come to it. It's fairly easy to deconstruct things in this game. All right, it's getting kind of dark, and we do have some light prefabs around, so I might as well put some of those out. I didn't do this the last time because I wasn't all about those looks, but basic lantern, street lantern. Man, imagine making like an entire cyberpunk city in this. Let's put that like right there. We'll see how the light radius does, and then maybe we'll place a few more. I hope it has a good radius. All right, we've got another message about Lucrum 115. I'm just going to skip past that, but we're going to be basically trying to get out copper ingots. So we are trading here to our leader, whoever that is. Whoever is in control of us has a lot of power because we're just sitting on a planet and mining for no money. And we're not allowed to question it. So, yep, I mean, it is what it is. Anyway, so how to use the spaceport? Basically, we're going to be trying to bring goods over here to kind of ferry them away. I think we'll make this one about this big. Maybe we'll make room for another one later, though. So we will hopefully be getting some better goods here. So select trade. Event trade request. Here we go. So we've got a request for 200 copper ingots. And if we do that, we're going to get 30 conveyor belts, as well as an industrial cutter, which is going to allow us to make copper plates and steel plates. We'll get onto that soon enough. And a shotgun, too. So everybody's currently carrying around like a little pistol. I'm going to just go into their inventory. Pistol. Here you go, see. We do have like a little bit of a profile. Hey there. Why is it that their faces just seem to suggest quiet suffering? Look at this man's stoic expression and his mohawk. How could someone have a mohawk yet not be like happy in a goofy way? I don't know. These are questions we may never answer. Anyway, this is very labor intensive, but I have been exiled here to labor for many years, so hopefully we'll be done with that soon enough. Anyway, so we want to go, speaking of labor, we want to haul our copper. So where are we actually keeping this copper? It looks like we've got 133 copper ingots. I guess we'll wait until that goes up a little bit. And maybe I will deconstruct the ship soon, but we've just got so much work to do over here. What other kinds of things are we doing? What else can we automate? I should probably kind of think this over a little bit more right now. I want to automate the bringing of this coal ore over here soon, but we're already pretty stacked up. And we can get more furnaces because, you know, we are using a lot of these things. The factory must grow. Yeah, mining drills would be nice. Probably we want one for coal. What else do we need? I guess we're going to need granite. So do we have any granite deposits over here? Maybe we could mine some of those out manually as well. We do also have iron over there, but I mean, these are all things that we're going to have to consider as we start to grow the factory because it is getting more and more labyrinthine, the number of, like, items that need to come in and out. Anyway, we'll do a little bit of mining right there. No. It's coming along, though. Also, Magrim Mudkip, Cathalion Thaniku, and Yvonne S. Thank you very much for the subs. Give my men some shovels. They're throwing dirt with their bare hands. I hope that we get tools, but honestly, I am told that this builds greater character in response to the adversity that we have to experience. So, I have to experience it. Let's go ahead and maybe get some of this coal out so that we don't... All our entire function in life will just be hauling items from place to place. Basically, whatever we can't be replaced with AI by yet, which is more or less just carrying things around in an intelligent manner. I predict that in the future, I won't even make videos anymore. I'll just carry video matter to YouTube headquarters itself. And eventually, all the rest of my duties will be replaced by AI. So I'm just going to clear out any other manual orders here. And there we go. We've got all the coal coming out. Look, that's far better than any human could do with it, after all. Wait a minute. Okay, there's the furnace. I thought we lost something. Never mind. Cool. All right, so how much do we have of other resources? It would be nice if I had, like, a little bit of a resource float over. Oh, I actually do. It's just on the upper right. I'm so used to seeing it on the upper left. Anyway, we've got now 49 copper. I guess that's because, well, I got rid of it all. Do we have it listed under other? Okay, yeah, here we go. Processed goods. So we've got 151. And I will just keep those menus expanded over there. Expand. Alarm. I don't know what this button does. Should I press it? I'll just run a wheel to generate power for AI. Yeah, more or less. You remember, like, at the end of Soylent Green when the world is running out of power and everyone needs to ride on an exercise bike? Let's just press the alarm button to find out what it does. But I will save before then. YOLO. YOLO. All right, there we go. All right, what does the alarm button do? The alarm has been activated. Everyone just stopped. All right, I stopped it. I don't think we needed to. It was probably for, like, a fight or flight response. Man, this is extremely labor-intensive. Let me just actually clear some of this out. I regret this slightly. I don't want them to do quite this much labor. Some labor is desirable, but then after that, just, you know, chill out and maybe relax for a little bit. Relax. But it is nice to see this all kind of getting Minecrafted away. You know what I mean? Look at that. Oh, that's the stuff. That's what I like to see. All right. 175. We're getting close to that 200 copper. There we go. We've got that. I guess the granite. Now, do we have a little bit more time to mine granite out here? No, because I've assigned them to clearing. All right, then let's just stop clearing that for a little while. All right. Focus on other things. Shinji, you have done your job. Looks like they do actually use some of that elevation, which begs the question, could they fall from great heights? Now, I've got only 4 days to send off this Lucrum. I don't actually know what happens if I'm just, like, demoted or deleted by HQ. So that remains to be seen, kind of. I guess I could have brought this in a little bit closer to the ship, because now look at how far... Actually, the deposit was kind of far off there, so meh. Oh well, I guess we stopped mining here, but, well, we do get a better view of, like, the actual hole that's drilling here. I know it's night and it's kind of hard to see. Oh, all right, we do get actually a decent amount of light here, but I think let's just put it there. So I kind of want to see it just a little bit better. Now, do they actually move faster in the light or anything like that? Is there any benefit, or is it just cosmetic? I'm not 100% sure. Let's just put it around in areas where they can generally use it. All right, that's pretty good. Okay, decent. Oh, yeah, it's not even morning yet. Okay, actually, the light is a little bit better than I thought. It seems to, like, cast a radiant glow everywhere. All right, well, now we have 200 iron, copper ore, my bad. Let's go ahead over here to this stockpile, and we will just order them to haul this to the spaceport. Here we go. So they will hopefully take that out in a moment. And have you got the copper? All right, it does look like that he's bringing... Oh, no, wrong place. Well, it'll take him a minute. Here we go, sitting down to have a nice dump with all my clothes on. It's the future after all. I have moved beyond toilets, which begs the question, why do they need it at all if they could have just done it in a fully clothed way? And do you think that spacesuits will come with this capacity to just dematerialize one's turds as they emerge? We may never know. Anyway, we've got 200 now. We're putting in, I guess we got all 207 since we did the haul too. But let's go ahead and, do we have trade requests? Nope, that's the Lucrum one. Let's go over to our lower one. Here we go. Okay, so we'll accept this, and we will be getting some red solvent as well as these conveyor belts are really going to help us in the industrial cutter. All right, so cool. So the ship is going to come there. It's going to take 4 hours to arrive, which is about, 5 hours to arrive, which is about 500 seconds or so, because that seems to tick down like that. All right, so while we're waiting for that, we are missing ingredients over here. We just did a lot of hauling. We'll let them catch up a little bit, and we'll make space for another landing pad, hopefully, as well as we should probably start to haul over some of this Lucrum to our next location, because we now have 446 of it, which is more than enough, which is fantastic, of course. Is this the Lucrum right here? Yeah, here we go. So let's haul all of this to this launch pad. Now, we may ultimately have to get more of these, but for now, this is fine. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and start automating more stuff, because life is getting more chaotic, and generally speaking, I don't have time to keep up with it. Mechanical workbench. It worries me what will happen if I don't meet these trade things in time. Let's see, 40 copper. Oh, I guess I don't actually have 40 copper ingots. All right, so I don't really have enough of that. I'm just trying to think of how I can de-bottleneck myself right now. Nope, I'm just kind of stuck into it. Yeah, I'm stuck into normie moving things around with my hands. Hope it gets better for me. Let's mine maybe some of this iron by... Actually... No, clear those orders. We don't need that. What is that man bringing all that? Oh, I guess some of the granite just sort of got thrown out here. I really like the way that resources just sort of like fly off when they're done mining them. Look at this man with his invisible shovel. Oh, so some of them actually stack together. That's so cool. I didn't look at this that close. See how they're kind of like... They have that similar texture to like a Minecraft pickaxe or an object in mine. That's so cool. I like that. And they have like the kind of actual physics about that. It's very satisfying to watch. Usually I don't like voxel-based games, but this has that kind of like teardown aesthetic to me, and I like it when it's granular enough like that. So, yeah, very cool. Anyway, we have over 200 in there. That's fine. Let's go ahead and also accept the other trade, because I think that will just take a little bit longer to come. Oh, wait, no, we have to do one at a time. All right, so 2 hours and 40 minutes. Fine, very well. How else is the rest of the factory coming along? All right, we can make another mining drill, which I think we're going to do. I'm just trying to get ready before the next one. All right, so Daiichi Shibata has assigned himself. Now, I believe we can also get sent workers from our leader, whoever our leader is. He is in control of us, and he is a great guy. He must be, for all of the incredible projects he's making us do. Anyway, furnace over here. Well, we're going to need granite for that, but we also need to process the granite in some way. So I think we've just got to kind of wait there. Is there anything else we could do? We could create a painting. I guess we could make wood walls. We might just be able to create a house in the meantime. Yeah, why not? Let's just do that. Let's try this out. This is going to be really scuffed, though. What is the minimum number of these? Let's make it a square hut. I want to keep expectations low with my home building potential. Oh, no, we need glass for that. We can't build that. We're nowhere near building that. I just wanted a hollow window of nothing. And we're on stairs? Don't get ahead of yourself. Oh, cool. Tatami. We could make it like Japanese style. Sweet. Make it just like a 3x3 house railing. Oh, this is actually kind of nice. Now, I've seen some really incredible structures here, so I'm just... It's going to be very sad what scuffed structure I build. Anyway, let's go ahead and see. Do we have enough for another miner here? Nope, we need a little bit more of that. We are going to need to up our copper production. Look at that nice hole in the ground we've got now. Amazing. Let's go ahead and maybe... I guess we could build it a little bit higher up on a platform like this. I want to get some granite out, but I also think iron is probably going to be a little bit more urgent, so let's build that first over here. We've got like a little gap in that, but this looks pretty good. All right, in the meantime, it sounds like that the trade ship is coming down. You can kind of hear it coming in, and it does actually look really sweet when the trade ship comes in. Like, I always think that games with voxels are just sort of, like, flat, except that this game just goes ham with the animation. So, like, I had my expectations very, very much reversed. I mean, just look at that grass. It's almost like real grass. It's perfect. Perfect in every way. All right, so we've created the tatami. Oh, here comes the ship. Amazing. Look at it. It's so beautiful and futuristic. Imagine landing in a ship like this, all because the universe was running out of copper and we had none left. There it goes, just being splorfed with copper, so it's loading up. And in a moment, it should drop off some humans. Oh no, never mind. I mean, conveyor belts. Goodbye. Make our leader proud of us. We exist to serve. All right, so here we go. We are getting... Oh, we are going to get a man for this. Ria Takeda and a chemical lab. It all ultimately results in getting Walter White from Breaking Bad. It must. There's only one possible ending here, right? All right, so now we have some conveyor belts, and I'm feeling a little bit better about this. Let's go ahead and see. Do we have blueprints for conveyor belts? I guess we have to put them into storage first, so we will just keep that as is. I think I might ultimately just get rid of this stockpile. Just thinking of what else to do. Should I build my house up on this hill? Let's do it. Let's see if we can put down the tatami mat. What is the difference here? All right, let's just try that. Let's see if they can somehow get up to this house. Or if we're just going to have a dirt mound in the floor. Build our house up on a hill. Can this be done? Can this actually be done? Oh, wow. Be impressed by my incredible architecture. I went to school for many years to learn to build houses like this that I drew as a child. All right, let me just raise this. Surprisingly, these controls are actually rare, like fairly fluid. The shift, or the tab and control seems to work really well. I've always wondered how a control scheme like this would work for these types of games. Man, look at that. That's just so nice. I like that. All right, let's go ahead and maybe deconstruct a couple of these beds. Move them up into there, just so that we have like some semblance of a home structure. I know we don't have a roof, but hey, at least we have a floor. Be thankful. Stop whining. All right, we've got one of those beds. Let me go ahead and just put that back down up there so that we can actually have it in a real house. All right, here we go. Rotate. Oh, wow, look. Oh, that's so nice. Now we could have an actual structure underneath us. All right, let me just get rid of that over there. All right, this is actually looking really good. I've never seen a house that looks this good. I can only dream of living in a place like this. Wait a second. I'm not uninstalling right. There we go. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, so now that we have that, let's go ahead and maybe take those blueprints for... Did we get the conveyor belt back? All right, let me just manually order that. It is nice that you can manually order and like command them to, okay, I have to get you to do this order right now. Let's go ahead and maybe take some time off of that granite. We don't need to mine that by hand anymore. I just want to make sure that I've got them off all those hand ordering things, which were like somewhat a waste of time. Okay, good. Good. And we're even getting a little bit of iron out of the ground, which we don't even have anything to do with yet. All right, so that being said, let's go ahead and start taking this output blocked, probably because we have too much of it, and we will start taking those conveyor belts and now placing them here. Let's go ahead and put those down on the ground with this control function. Okay, cool. So that will output it directly onto the conveyor belt, and then we put it over here, and can we put it in? Yeah, we have like that nice back flap in which to enter items into. All right, so let's see how that does. One... And there goes the copper out onto the conveyor belt. Amazing. And there it goes in. Does it actually go in? Can we have it get taken in by the thing? Prospectors providing resources for this entity. All right, so we don't actually have the recipe yet to get feeders going. We need to get steel ingots and copper plates. So we can sort of put the copper right nearby this, but we can't really get a lot of it. So maybe we'll just keep this not there for now, and we'll just keep feeding it out onto the ground. It looks like that ship went away with more of the Lucrum ore. Now we need copper plates and steel ingots. So life keeps getting harder, as in real life, as the difficulty rises. So let's go ahead and take maybe... Well, we can try anyway. Nah, we shouldn't try. Let's just keep feeding everything out onto the ground. But we'll kind of put it into some semblance of order like we were going to do already. Now, I'm just thinking of my Factorio logic that I learned in the past. Maybe we could just feed it out like directly onto here. Could we do that? Let me just try this. I'm not actually sure if I can do this. Hang on a second. So if we take this and we just put the furnace literally on top of the last one, then can we do this? Like, could we do it like that? And then put another one there. And I know that this is very contained, and eventually we will change it. But hey, like, it's nice to just get one product. Although I guess then we can't get the other resource, so there is that. No recipe selected. Oh, whoops. If we do that. Okay, so yes, now it is directly feeding copper into my furnace, which is great. Eventually, I will change this, but hey, right now, if I can just get copper plates made directly out of here, that is kind of nice. Let's see, are they putting out copper plates? And cool, okay, so this is automatically creating copper plates for us. Amazing, I've just decreased the amount of hauling and manual labor we need to participate in. So we're going to take the copper plates, and eventually we'll go back to making steel ingots, but for right now, it's what it is. Yeah, I just want to, like, lower the amount of labor required. And steel ingots, too. Okay, cool. And our house on a hill is... It is perfect. Don't question it. We have more wood walls here, but I guess we just don't have time to bring those over. Okay, make maybe a few more of those. We need more anyway. The beatings will continue until morale improves. All right, so we have finally created our stonemasonry. So we have one man performing the labor-intense process of cutting rocks into more solid rocks. And he is... I know it looks like he's doing something else to the table, but believe me, he's cutting stone. And he looks like he's pretty happy doing it. I like the animations here. So he's putting that into there, and that's going to help us create another... actually, I guess we'll have to go to a different table once again. We'll go back to our mechanical workbench. And we're going to create, once we have 20 of those, another furnace. So that now we can take all of that from our coal and other areas and bring it in there. I actually think we don't want these until we get feeders, because otherwise I just have random resources scattered and lying around. So what do we have as far as processed goods go? Do we have enough of those... plates yet? Let me just see. So that is down here. So 55, we are coming along, but what we are going to need next is steel ingots. So we've got the iron for that, but that's kind of our next step as we go along. I think that this was the right move because we just aren't using those copper ingots really anymore. So let's leave that out on the ground. Cool. And then after that, we need another 400 Lucrum 115. So how much Lucrum do we have? Well, we do have enough for that. I mean, we might as well engage in our Lucrum trade for right now. Let's go over back to our Lucrum again. Do you have, like, any auto haul? No, I don't really have it right there. I guess eventually we could kind of do this via logistics, but for right now, we will just do, let's see, iron ore, 552. We'll just haul all of that back to our spaceport so that hopefully we can get whatever we're going to get from our next trade there. And what do we get in that event? What will we receive? Okay, so for this next one, we get punch... this is actually the other one. So for this, okay, cool, we get 2 more crew. That would be really nice, because I could use a lot more labor right now, and these people's needs are fairly minimal. Cool. All right, so walls. Do we actually have a doorway? Oh, cool. So copper ingots. We could probably make one of those. I wanted to just get a door. Let's get a wood door. And can we get a roof going overhead? Palisade. I guess we could just put in more floors. Maybe I'll end up doing that. I think I just kind of want to keep the house open for the viewing up, to make sure that I can keep an eye on anything happening inside there. Oh, actually, we could have done it with shoji. I like all this, like, Japanese interior decoration. It looks really nice. All right, what else have we got? We probably have enough stone now in order to create, here we go, a furnace. So now we can take all of this and put it onto the iron, because that raw iron is not really helping us in any way in particular. So cool. We have got more than enough of that. So let's go ahead and do our trade request for this Lucrum to get 2 more crew members. Now, this is also more mouths to feed. I guess they'll just keep going to this vending machine to feed themselves. And it begs the question, will 1 toilet be enough? Or will there just be like an explosion of fecal matter all over the ground? I guess we'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it. So cool, that is happening. Arriving in another 4 hours, or 4 hours and change. All right, so now we hopefully won't be eradicated before the next trade. No, I think we're actually doing okay with that. We have 5 full days for that. Certainly, but they won't do anything to do any bodily harm to us. All right, let's go ahead and put this over here. And oh, that's so nice the way that you can just like change the level of it with a very simple keystroke. I always think back to like Stonehearth with this because I felt like that game had a really good grip on what it looked like to get 3D implementation of this stuff going. Or like Timberborn, for example. It just feels like a step in the right direction to have this nice voxel, the unvoxeling occurring. All right, so let's see. Our furnace, we want to change the recipe to steel ingots, so we're taking iron ore and that. Cool. I guess we could make the coal into coke here, which might be more efficient. And that might maybe bring down the amount of labor, so if we could get another one of those furnaces. Let's go back to our mechanical workbench here. And yeah, we'll make another furnace because I think it's going to be useful. After that, we could get a punch press, which would make copper rods and steel gears. But I think we might want to wait just a little while till that. Let's get more of our automation process going. So we can now make feeders, which is the moment we've been waiting for. I really wanted these feeders, so we'll make more of those. And then that will allow us to just start to get everything automated, because there's still so much manual labor here. Imagine a world before AI. Yeah, splitting granite with karate chops. I'm starting to think that the ship is kind of getting in the way, too. We may have to just deconstruct that sooner or later. We've also got a few different views here, just speaking of the UI. Like, you can take down walls or see everything at the base level. I've had everything with roofs off, or you can just turn it off, but it is nice to be able to see. But it's just kind of cool to see that there's, like, some implementation of 3D viewing that honestly works more or less pretty well. So let's go ahead and do furnaces right here, and maybe we'll get another one just to make that into slightly more efficient coal. Cool. Get it? I know, it took me all night to write that joke. Let's go ahead and... Can we queue recipes? Nah, there's not really too much that we're doing with red solvent right now. I haven't really used that yet, so I'm not sure what we'll be doing with it. Red assembler. Oh, wow. We can Factorio it. Oh, everything is going to get just horribly automated soon. And then we're going to automate the creation of the creators. And then we're going to create the automation of the automators. And then we're all going to explode. 100 copper plates and 100 steel ingots. How much more do we need for that? So it will be trivial to produce this by the time we're done. It begs the question, where will we go when we run out of this? Eventually, our only function in life will just be to chop wood. So I don't want to carry all this stuff back anymore. Let's go ahead and just start to disassemble some of these walls, because I can tell that these are going to start to get in the way. Just the whole ship must go. Destroy it. Just completely destroy it. Whoops, I guess we have to do these individually. I know you liked the ship. I liked it too. It looked pretty good, but it's kind of getting in the way now, and, you know, sometimes what you want doesn't matter in the face of the greater good. We have to do what is best for humanity, or we'll all die in a heap. And they all lived happily ever after. Okay, so we've gotten the ship out of the way, and that did actually give us more steel. I am proud to announce. I am responsible for the results of this operation. It sounds like that the trade ship is coming in again. I can hear it in the distance. Oh, also, maybe that tube light has got to go. And whatever that is, just some chairs. Look at them just floating up in the air. Amazing. All right, so now we can bring these back. Whoops, no recipe. Let's go ahead and have this make coke. There we go, out of coal. Cool. All right, blueprints, conveyor belts. So now let's start to bring everything back to our central stockpiles right here. I want to see if we can just feed everything into all of these. So if we go 30 of these, and if we go, whoops, well, actually, it is sort of in the Dyson sphere style where we, like, need it directly adjacent to the other object. Let's see if we can just kind of go through this cliff right here. Whoops. That wasn't what I wanted to do at all. Cancel. Okay, here we go. You know, maybe we just level off this terrain and hope for the best. Oh, is the ship here? Oh, I missed it coming in. Well, we can at least see it lifting off. It has delivered to us new people, so let us continue to see who we have now. Ugh, look at them all. They're disgusting. I can hardly keep track of them all. All right, well, anyway, we are producing the plates now, and that's more or less what we need. This stockpile here is just kind of becoming irrelevant. Let's go over to here, and now we can build some more conveyor belts this way. This is what I wanted. It keeps, like, wanting to go over the terrain for some reason. There we go. All right, there it is. So now if we take all of that, and maybe we build some of those feeders that we put in, can we put these into our stockpiles? And so there is an entry and an exit point. So if we do that, will that work? We also need... Actually, I guess those just get dumped out onto the stockpile anyway to begin with. Let's just see. Okay, amazing. It is automatically taking the plates and putting them in. Or is it? It did for one. We have just achieved the automation of the putting in of copper plates into a stockpile. The humans have been made obsolete, and now the AI can control the factory. It's amazing. It is truly amazing. So we are going to just leave that there. I guess we'll keep some regular stockpiles over here. Can we just, like, I guess we could designate it only for copper plates. Just see if I can do that. 1 level's tall. Does the arrow mean that? We'll just keep observing that for a moment and see if it continues. Anyway, we have now created the automation of copper plates. Amazing. So now we can basically just use the humans for more tasks. And I can see that a couple of our workers are actually idle, which is a good sign. So we can kind of put them off to other higher level tasks. Anyway, copper plates, steel ingots. Do we actually have enough of those now that we can call in the... Yes, we can. Let's automatically haul some of those over there. Haul to... how many of these do we have? The other copper plates must be somewhere else, but I'm not sure. We should probably send... Oh, they're probably over here. Haul 141 copper plates to here. I mean, we might as well just put them all in. Hopefully it can land there, even with my chemical lab there. Oh, wait, no, it's not actually in the way. We're good. 100 copper plates and 100 steel ingots. So let's take all of those steel ingots as well. And where are those located? Man, I should really get this organized a little bit better, but we will bring those 165 to there. Cool. And then that should get us the next thing. Okay, so for the next order of Lucrum, we're going to be getting 1 worker and 1 more landing pad, as well as what appears to be like a submachine gun. So I guess I'm really excited to see enemies in this game, because I think just in the absence of an adversary, the mining company does work, and it's nice that it gives you more resources, because there are sometimes, like, just, you don't get anything. You just work for the rest of your life, bro. Like real life. Sorry, that got a little bit real there for a second. 1,000 Lucrum. How much do we have right now? Whoops, why are we actually in... Wait, no, I didn't want that. Cancel blueprint. Why do we have... X on that. Steel floor. Oh, haul. Yeah, bring the steel floor there. I don't know why that was there. Alright, how is our Lucrum amount doing? Lucrum. Granite. I don't actually see any Lucrum that we have in our reserves. Why is that gone? Is it under here, under my incredible walls? Oh, I forgot to put in my door. Give me a minute. I have to get my door up. Amazing. Now we can have privacy and sleep serenely. I can't even tell what level we're on. Oh, here we go. Yes, that's it. Yes, baby, that's what I've been waiting for. An actual door. Look at me go. Alright, so we share beds. Conveyor belts. I guess we could kind of bring that over there, too, because what's the point of doing any of this labor by hand anymore, right? Let's go ahead and get more stockpile zones out as well, because I can tell that we're starting to get too much stuff. So put those down maybe there, so we can bring that down. Another one of those. Cool. Alright, so we'll get one of those out there, maybe another one. Alright, now we're going to put in another set of conveyor belts. Now we've got to be reasonable with these because we don't have too many. We're also going to need more steel plates as well. I'm thinking that we probably want to differentiate the construction of steel plates as well as steel ingots, as well as copper for that matter, because we're probably going to need both. So there is that to consider. And we can even get like multiple feeders in there. Okay, so cool. We've got a place for our steel rods to go in automatically. And now can we engage in some off-world trading? Yeah, let's do this because it's going to take it a little while to come over. Cool. Okay, so initiate trade. And this is going to give us a free punch press. So that's going to get us a buy just a little bit faster. It seems that you could have the option of kind of like trading for an item or just building it by hand yourself, which is nice that you have like alternate win conditions sort of. I like these icons. They just look good here, man. And we could probably get some more of this coal because we keep walking all around for this. And we can't be doing that. We need to use the AI for that. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's get maybe another one of these. Oh, we could even feed the belts into each other. Oh, so that we could use both lanes of the belt. That is nice. Which begs the question, do we want to do that? No, I think let's just keep lanes separate right now, and I'm going to do this in a very scuffed way. But that's okay. Like, that's fine for now. Let's just make sure that all the goods are more or less being delivered to a central location until eventually we have an existential crisis and we have to make more. That's the whole goal of these factory games. Okay, so we're going to need steel plates and copper ingots in order to create this, but we're going to need so many other things before we get there. So I think we will get an industrial cutter here, too. First, and then we could put a cutter here so that we could use some of those items in order to create. I'm just thinking we might need another one of these. Yeah, let's get another drill. That's the only way we're getting out of this. We're going to need a lot more of these. All right, so we're starting to bring our humans over to the tasks of just building things. That's important. Oh, look at this guy. We've got one guy. We even have a disembodied floating mirror in the background. Taxes. I mean, overall, what I kind of get the feel of in this game, I guess once we get enemies, is going to be kind of like, I don't know, do you feel as though that's a fair assessment? Like a mix of Factorio, RimWorld, and Minecraft. Maybe the Minecraft part is a little bit, we haven't done quite as much like that, but I mean, with stuff like the clearing, or maybe it's just that those other things are kind of Minecraft-like to begin with. I'm curious how we could kind of use these voxels to shape the terrain a little bit more. But anyway, that was kind of my assessment of things. Anyway, let's go ahead and see if we can clear more of this land. Whoops. I mean level, my bad. Here we go. I mean, now that we have a little bit more free labor, I just feel that people shouldn't be idle. Work harder. Work harder, my servants. You know, we probably aren't going to need so many more steel ingots after this for a little while, so let's go ahead and put one of these right about here. I know I'm going to massively regret all of this soon enough. Like, oh, I have to completely reformat everything, but we'll just cross that bridge when we come to it. Cool, alright, that is arriving. So what are we going to need next? It's going to be the Lucrum ore. Can we make another Lucrum ore miner? Because that seems to be more or less a thing unto itself. Q recipe. Miners. Can we... Whoops. No. Oh, I think we're going to need an advanced workbench. Yeah, advanced workbench creates... Do we have that listed under our... Well, probably. High-tech workbench. Or high-tech something. Chemical. Yeah, I think that's going to be harder to create. Yeah, high-tech workbench. Okay, so we're pretty much just stuck with one of these for now, it seems. Which begs the question... Oh, no fuel. Whoops. Why did we not have any fuel here? Oh, that's quite terrible. Why were they not automatically refueling this? Maybe I need to upgrade that priority a little bit. Anyway, let's go ahead and automatically deliver some of this over there because we have a lot of it. Or maybe I can just make this a priority. Oh, actually, we need red solvent in order to fuel it. We need to get some red solvent then now, which is probably why we got this chemical lab earlier on, and I should have done that. Anyway, okay, so now we are going to need copper plates and steel gears. Okay, now this is beginning to make a little bit more sense. So if we want to get the Lucrum ore, we have to do the things. All right, the trade ship is arriving, and I believe that this will give us the cutting thing that we need. Yeah, here we go, the punch press, because we need those steel gears next. So it's going to just poop those out once we get all the copper plates and steel ingots in. And we need this in order to get more Lucrum ore. This is quite important, so we're going to need this for these. I mean, let's just make a lot of this, pretty much as we can. I mean, our entire purpose in life is to make money, after all. Alright, cool. So now we have all of that. We've queued that recipe up. And they're now... Good, they're bringing over red solvent. And we are producing Lucrum again, which this looks like very strong fuel. All right, so now we should probably automate that over to somewhere else. It's just one guy just taking a break from work. It's just funny to see somebody going to the bathroom in the middle of all this. 1,000 Lucrum ore. All right, so we're actually getting on that. We need to use the punch press, though, to take all of the plates that we're getting and then make those into... Where do we have this? Here we go, punch press. We're going to just automatically take all of this. I'm just trying to think, how can we divide this up? We'll probably have to create alternate work paths right here, but for right now, I'm just kind of creating a scuffed jumpstart base, which we probably won't get much further out beyond that, but hey, maybe if things get a little bit better, we will. Oh, here we go. Okay, so we're going to take all of these ingots. Oh no, this one wants ingots. Oh, never mind then. Let's get rid of this over here. We don't need this at all. So we need this then over here. We'll have like multiple outputs for our inputs. So once we create the maximum number of gears, then we'll make plates. We may need more of these miners. That is always the story with these games. We're going to need like 10 or 20 of these things if it goes the way I am expecting it to. So let's go ahead and maybe put this over there. I don't really want to mine one area. So that gets there. So maybe we'll put this one like here. Okay, whatever. Fine. All right, so now we take those ingots and we make them into gears. Cool. All right, good. Oh, well, I forgot we also need another furnace over there. And now we have to do another thing. Let's put that there. We can also automate the construction of furnaces. So now we have all the steel gears. Okay, the steel gears are being had. It looks like that those are getting delivered into the stockpile. I like that you can actually see the sprites of each of these things because it is a little bit tricky to keep track of where some of those are. I've got 110 of those there. Lucrum. Let's maybe take this out of here and we'll just kind of bring it just a little bit closer to our... I mean, is Lucrum going anywhere other than the space station? 2, 3. Let's just make sure it all automatically gets delivered there. Yeah, we'll do it like this. Move the stonemasonry bench. Yeah, we won't be needing any more of that. And then can we craft any more of those belts, too? That would probably be important. We will put that back down over here. But if we go into mechanical workbench and then we create... Yeah, we have enough for 28 more conveyor belts. We're going to need a lot of these things, so let's just queue up a ton of them. Cool. I just want to get this Lucrum put in there automatically. We are definitely going to be putting this in like this. I mean, we could put it in another way, but I just figured that Lucrum is always going one place, so this is a pretty good resource to, like, put in here, you know. All right, Shinji is hard at work here. Your function in this life is to create conveyor belts until the AI can be used to replace you. Do better. Make sure that all of your work is being done on camera so that the AI can see you doing it. We need the AI to learn faster from your labors. After that, we can dispose of you. You will receive a generous retirement package of 1 dump a day at the public toilet. Congratulations. Until the AI can be reused. Sorry, never mind. I got a little carried away. All right, so we got to use steel gears and steel plates, so this is getting more and more laborious and intensive. But, yeah, I mean, we are automatically feeding in Lucrum now, so that is quite nice. And we're also creating some of that good old solvent green, soylent, whatever it is, in order to fuel this thing. Let's see if we can automatically get the fueling made of... Oh, no, actually, that's going to be really complex, because we have to get plates and gears. We probably don't even have a machine that could be used to make that, right? We're probably not too far off from it, though. Oh, well. All right, let's just see that this is going right. All right, so it is automatically delivering Lucrum in. That's good. Sweet. And we're eventually going to make it faster, but that seems to be at a pretty steady rate. Let's select the trade request. 1,000 Lucrum. So how much do we have in there now? Right about 200. I'll take a little bit more time for this. because it's going to take a little while. All right, so we have that going. I'm feeling pretty good about this. We still aren't really doing anything to put this fuel anywhere, though. Let's see if we can get another stockpile zone going for that, just so that they at least have one place for this stuff. Or can we use the one here up the top? We don't seem to be using these too much, right? Yeah, all right. Put one over there. We'll run that up to that point. Hey, Sleepa97, thanks very much for the sub. What is my purpose? You create conveyor belts. Work faster. So that the AI will learn to work faster. You will serve. Alright, here we go. You know, let's see if we can get these stockpiles organized a little bit better. Okay, I've finally just figured out how to more intelligibly manage my stockpiles. So we have got only coke coming in here. So that is, like, not just going to contain random stuff. We've got only copper plates in here. The rest of these stockpiles are just more or less kind of generalized, but this one was sort of getting, like, everything, which wasn't good. I sort of just want this one to be steel ingots, so we're trying to deliver all of the iron ore to other places, but now we've just massively fed up the furnace with that. We're also getting even more of these things, so we probably want to get even more furnaces, but now we're kind of embarking on the factorioization of everything. So let's go ahead and put this over here. And now, can we get more belts? No, we have used your labors to create the maximum number of belts. You are no longer useful to us. The AI will give you further instructions. All right, let's see. So now we can kind of combine belts into this way too. Okay, cool, so it can go over two sides. Let's see if that actually uses the second lane now. Oh, look, there it goes. It is using the second lane. Amazing, amazing. I can hardly believe how excited I am. Are we actually using this, though? Furnace, no, it's recipe selected. Let's go ahead and make that. There we go. So we've still got no fuel there. The drills don't actually need fuel, but the furnaces do. I guess we are going to... We'll be stuck powering these by hand still for a while. So all of our furnaces are getting powered by hand, but eventually we'll try to kind of work our way off of that. For right now, though, this stockpile is just sort of random stuff. Let's haul this Lucrum over to the spaceport. Do we have any other Lucrum lying around? It looks like we do. Haul this to the spaceport. Granite. We still haven't really found a place for that, but this iron is going to go over to our furnace. These conveyor belts can just be brought over here because they're sort of a random thing. Mounted light. Yeah, just a lot of this is kind of random stuff we've got lying around. But things are more or less going into the right places now. All right, we are at around 510 Lucrum and probably rising. Do we actually have any of that in our processed goods menu? No, we're pretty good. All right, so steel gears and steel plates. We might also just want to put these out into just a stockpile as their endpoint. Because the cutter is still bringing these just out here. So what happens if we just put these directly into a stockpile? I want to make more of these stockpile zones. What do we need for these? So we're going to need a lot more copper ingots. So we probably want to get more copper mining going. Let's get more miners out here. Mechanical workbench. We need copper ingots, of course, which we aren't really doing anything with that. Halt the construction of copper plates momentarily. We don't need so many of them. We do have quite a lot of them, but we need more over here. Yeah, I need more of those to make more, and I don't want to go back to the life of mining things by hand. My standard of living has already increased to such a vast extent. I can hardly imagine life without it anymore. Steel gears and steel plates. Do we have enough of that? I swear, there must be something that I just have a ton of. Yeah, coal. We've just been doing nothing but mining that. Steel gear. Yeah, we still need a lot more gears, though. So we're just kind of stuck here. All right, well, the factory continues to grow. Late but open stream. Expected to see certain new DLC being played. Coming soon. Sleepa97, thanks very much for the sub. All right, so I guess we just enter one of those phases where we kind of watch everything. If we were a little bit smarter, maybe a little bit more intelligent, we could get something more going. I wonder how deep these deposits go. It looks like that we're hitting some sort of like a river underneath, almost. I wonder if we'll run out. I haven't actually seen the extent of the map, if it really goes that far. Saving. What an exotic-looking plant. Has anyone actually slept here? I haven't seen my colonists, like, mutiny. They must be are they happy? 2 selected. What about you? Okay, you are relatively bathed, as are you. I guess they just keep taking care of their needs at the vending machine whenever they need to. This is like Black Mirror, man. Alright, let me take a little minute. I've got to get some of these things organized, get my factory a little bit more, like, squared away, and then we'll go from there. Alright, I have just created several rows of belts to... I know that this isn't the right way to play logistics games, but it works for me, so I do it anyway, and I just live with my mistakes. But yeah, at least I can see the different stockpiles as they go. Alright, and moreover, please don't put those in there. They just kind of seem to put things down in any stockpile as they go. Okay, this is right. This is right. But we want to put down, yeah, ingots in there as you get ingots. I just want to make sure I have, like, one of each good, you know, so that I have different bays and I can use them in a jumpstart base. Except that I'm getting to the end of my first resources, and that is inducing some level of anxiety. Because I know that it can't go on like this forever. Mechanical workbench. Let's go for... more of these things, except we are at 15 stone blocks. Work harder! Cut the stone faster! There we go. We'll make just hundreds of it because I still don't have a machine doing it for me. No available storage for granite. Build more stockpiles. I've been trying! Oh yeah, this is why I should have done this sooner. Okay, so if we want another stockpile, cool, we can make 6 of those. Alright, this is the whole reason I was trying to work so fast, was because I was running out of space for this. Yeah, we're just going to need tons of these stockpiles, but cool, cool. Alright, so now we have enough to create... Let's just make more random stockpiles for stuff. Don't even stack them up, I just want them all side by side. We'll worry about that later. Seeing them in 3 dimensions is like trying to play 3D chess to someone who understands only checkers. Alright, furnaces. Are we almost there at the furnace? Where did the furnace go? Did I ever even actually request that? Okay, here we go. Yes, we can finally create furnaces. Oh, we just needed the granite, which we now have. Look at this man cranking out granite. Such a strong, manly man. Furnaces. Are we putting away the furnace? There's simply too much work for these men to do around the factory. Alright, 255, 187. I think we are at the required amount now. What is that? 750, 765. Now we still need like another 35 more, so we're almost there though. Alright, in the meantime, we will be putting down another furnace right here. Here we go. Now, I understand that it's the inner machinations of my mind that are an enigma, but why is it that? I mean, it's not like I'm working with a machine. I'm working with a machine. So why am I... This is upsetting to me. I don't understand your people's way of life. Do better. All right, let's go ahead and put down another one of these conveyor belts here. Oh, amazing. It's funny. I guess you need a feeder only to output goods, but not to input. So that is going to get steel plates, or copper plates. And here we go. If we do copper ingots over here, so now we have a stockpile for copper plates, copper ingots, a stockpile for coke as we get it, so that'll help us refuel. Let's use the spaceport now. Trade request we can do. No, it was the other trade request. It's probably the high... Nope, that was the higher one. Let's do this one. Okay, cool. 1,000, and that is going to be... Cannot fit! Oh, I need it to be 5 by 4, so we need to increase the size of the spaceport. Wait a minute. Isn't that already 5 by 4? Whoops, other one. Here we go. Oh, 7 by 5. Oh, it needed to be larger. Okay. So yeah, we are going to need progressively larger spaces until eventually we just won't have a big enough spaceship. So that is going to come in another 5 hours. Then we're going to get yet another crew member here. And then we need 150 steel gears and steel plates. I do like the timer because it gives some sense of urgency, because otherwise it would just be like, what am I doing? Industrial tech. Oh, this is the devs. Industrial technology and witchcraft. I know that that sounds like a, like some sort of cult. I don't know. I can't really speak to what the the habits are in this development studio. Haven't come up with a name like that, but yeah, this is their early access message. Here we go. So we have enough of that now. And now we need to bring over... Do we have enough gears? We do actually have enough gears. I think we can just haul these by hand. Do we have these in here? 246, yeah. Let's haul... Let's go with... Bring down the number of these. Oh, we just have to drag this slider, so we go down to 150. You could do like a more specified amount. Haul those to here. And then we need steel plates. So do we have that number of steel plates required? We actually do. Can we give an order? No, we can't really give an order over that. So let's haul 152 to there. Cool. All right, so now we have enough for both of the trade ships. We just got enough for both of those, so we're going to get a lot from that. What are we going to receive in reward? 200 red solvent, so that's going to be enough to keep powering up our Lucrum miner for a while, as well as an industrial crimper to make even more cascading, complex technologies as we go. What's the goal of the game? To please our leader. Right now, that's really all we have, to just keep teching up, but it does kind of improve our quality of life to have more people, but it also makes it more complicated. So it's sort of like living in a command economy, is the only way that I have of describing it, which is honestly a little bit dystopian, except one in which everyone is completely selfless. Although there will be enemies, this is in early access, so I kind of think of it as like a very like baby early access game, if you want to think of it like that. Haul that. Just haul it. I don't know why that's there. All right, 2 hours and 40 minutes. If we can just keep up with this mining delivery. I mean, hence all of the weapons that were being delivered. Which, honestly, like, in games like Factorio, I do find that when you get the really good weapons, like the big cannons, that's when it makes the game very satisfying. So, think of this as only, like, kind of a rough outline without the enemies and kind of that end goal. But sort of like how Dyson Sphere did that before it came out with its, like, full version. There were no enemies in Dyson Sphere to begin with. It was just, like, a grand automation game in 3D. See if we can keep clearing out some of these trees. But anyway, I would kind of look at it like that. Like, this is very... baby early access. It's an extremely ambitious game, though, based on just all of the stuff. I mean, I never thought I would see something like this for a while, but this is, you know, the direction things seem to be going in. Anyway, we've got good resource flows here. Are we actually creating enough of this here at this industrial cutter? Oh, no, we aren't actually even using the recipe. Never mind. Let's go ahead and create that. Cool. All right, so now we are actually doing that. Amazing. All right, so we're still kind of fueling everything by hand, but I can more or less see all of my outputs, so that's what I wanted. Cool, that is good. That stockpile. I want to move these over to anywhere else, really. Okay, and then this is still just kind of random stuff. This is still random. Can we haul this over to here, too? Just anything that's not like 100% relevant like that. Haul this over to there. How much is even in this one? 254. Jeez, man. Where did I get all of this iron? 345. Haul that over to there. Just get this out of my stockpile zones. All right. So what is this one creating? We've got all of this kind of getting fed into one or two of these things. Yeah, it's all kind of going into one line here. It's a little bit more organized in that way, but ooh, the ship is coming. I just heard it again. I'm thinking we want to put these into, like, clean output piles like this again, too. And didn't I destroy one of those workbenches as well? Oh, no, we just got another one. The sheer number of workbenches is a little bit tricky here, like, having to craft things at a table and then build them. I wonder if there will be, like, a kind of quicker way to do that, but I guess it makes sense of using your crew. It's nice that the individual people have their own needs and stuff. Well, this looks a lot like our original ship. This is a larger ship than before, though, man. I think that there's an even bigger one, so we're going to have to extend the size of this launch pad once again. I'm probably going to have to clear more ground. Let's go ahead and set more of our people to clearing the ground, or leveling it. As big, I think we're going to have to increase the size of the launch pad once more, and it is getting to be a gargantuan mining task. Oh, there's just something about that that's so satisfying. Listen to that. Just, ah. Oh, we're getting a raid. Right, oh, with cheese. What's up, dude? Hey, how have you been, man? Thanks very much for the raid. What are you guys playing? I'm just gonna give you a quick shout out. I'm seeing some Spiffo emoji. Were you guys playing PZ or were you guys playing anything else? Hang on a second. You have a long name. You're like me. Why did I do that to you? Oh, wait a minute. Twitch is trying to get me to log. Hang on a second. Oh, God. Why? Hang on a second. Let me just pause the game. Yeah, no, my chat didn't reload. Okay, here we go. What's up, dude? Hope your stream went well. Now we're on Once Human. Oh, I've been hearing about that game. Hey, I got a question. Have you tried the PZ week 1? That was really cool. Like, I hadn't seen anything that sweet in a while. I haven't been back on it in a minute. And I miss doing that multiplayer stuff. I was just thinking about that before. The game show we did. Haven't actually tried it out yet, but it looks like great fun. Ooh, you would enjoy that. Have you been on RimWorld Odyssey or anything? So much good gaming lately. So much good stuff. Thanks for the raid, buddy. Hope you've been having a good day. Things are going good. They've been chill. I'm guessing you've had a pretty big stream. So feel free to grab some food or maybe, I don't know, take a breath of fresh air. We're talking about how much we can't wait for the PZ. Yeah, that is true. That is fair. It's been like it used to be like this single player experience. Well, I guess before that, I mean, even before the new builds, there was more multiplayer stuff. So there was that. Yeah, you know, like it kind of ebbs and flows like that. I don't mind that because it keeps it kind of like renewing year after year. Anyway, thanks for the raid, man. Hope you've been doing well. Be strapping in here for a little bit more Dawn Apart, which is a game about working for the Supreme Leader. I mean the regular leader, not the Supreme Leader. Sorry, I've been reading so much about like the results of communist regimes and like their horrible totalitarian states, so I can't help but play this game in the kind of like dark context. I don't know why I got so interested in this recently. I've just been reading history again. But everything's just pointing toward command economy and like gulags. And it's horrible. It's a horrible thing, but you know, it is what it is. It's an area of the internet full of memes. All right, so we have just had the ship take off again, and we got delivered yet another person. Good old human employment. Nothing to see here. Anyway, let's go ahead, and now that we've delivered all of these goods to this area, we have got event request again, so we've got all of the steel plates and gears that we need, and this is going to give us yet even more red solvent, so we'll do that. So for right now, I mean, we are sort of in that number go bigger phase, like where we don't actually have any enemies to fend off, but I'm kind of curious because we're getting only about half of that experience right here. So a couple of people have been asking, like, what is the larger term goal? Right now it's just send resources to the leader. But yeah, I mean, keep that in mind, so wherever the game is at when you're watching this video, just like check on some newer content. Keep in mind the date of this video because this is still, like I said, pretty like early access kind of stuff. Anyway, that being said, I'm not going to belabor that point too much more, but that's all I wanted to say. Anyway, let's go ahead and maybe haul more of these goods out of here. What is our next set of gold? So 2,000 Lucrum. Man. All right, Lucrum 115 miner. We're still kind of powering this by hand. Maybe we could start to just get a few stockpiles so that we keep the types of goods we want nearby those places. Like, could we refuel? This looks like the reactor to this. Although I don't know if we're actually going to be able to get that on. I don't know. Maybe we'll just keep powering that one by hand. Do we have a chem lab? Yeah, we could make as much as like 68 of that. Let's do it. Alright, so what other things are we going to need? We're going to need 2,000 Lucrum now. Steel gear and steel plates. We've got that. The next one is 2,000 Lucrum. We're going to be handling the refueling of that, but still there's so many people here just engaged in punching these around. I think we've pretty much got almost no humans working over here anymore. They just refuel with coke by hand every now and then. Let's go ahead and take this industrial cutter, and we're going to send these goods out to... We'll just... This is going to look really scuffed, but I'm just going to do it anyway. Don't question my designs. They're just what work in my head. Don't question them. Don't question me. It's just so that I could see the good. Actually, you know what? I don't even like it. This is going to look even worse than what I just said. Oh, it's going to be horrible. You're going to hate it. We put that there. It's so that I can see the good. When I first play a logistics game, I just have to do everything in a really stupid-looking way, and then after, like, 2 or 3 playthroughs, it finally looks better. When I first did this in Factorio a few years ago, it was probably the most fun playthrough. Factorio is fun when you watch people play it. For me, anyway. I don't know if this is frustrating for people who have been playing it for a long time, but nonetheless. I enjoy watching playthroughs of games where the guy doesn't know what he's doing, and he learns to do it along the way. Because it's more interesting and unique. You just see people as their brains are developing to learn the game. And if you've been playing a game for I mean, you wouldn't want to keep seeing it like that, but I find it more interesting with logistics games in particular, because a lot of logistics games have the same elements, but it's... Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Anyway, if you disagree, you are objectively wrong. I am 100% right. Anyway, here we go. I am, of course, being facetious. I am very vain. Alright, so what have we got here? We are getting ingots here. Oh, this does look truly horrible the way I did it, though. Ingots here, gears here, or plates here, and gears here. Get that out of there. We just want gears. We just want gears in this one. Oh, apply for all empty spots. Okay, here we go. That will make it better. Gears. Cool. Empty all. Oh, whoops. And then we'll do plates. Whoops. Apply for all. And plates. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, so now... Oh, I heard the ship again. That sounded like the ship was arriving. I like that audio thing that just keeps it moving. This is happening right now. These are done. Now we're just refueling by hand. Okay, things are actually looking pretty nice for us. All that, wherever we put granite. So how are our workers doing? I see a couple of people actually resting in bed. Unacceptable. Oh, cool. We're getting an even bigger... Oh, no, it's the same size ship. I think we're about to get a really big shipment in a minute, though, next. For the 2,000 Lucrum. Origins of political order. That sounds very interesting. Alright, so that is collecting all of our resources. And now... that will take off, and what is that going to actually leave us with? Did we get dropped off any new people? No, just 200 gear, and then now an industrial crimper. Right, so now the gear becomes even more complex. It looks like we have enough now for mining more Lucrum, so that's going to be another 2,000. So what's that going to give us? 2 more people. Shinsuke Miyamoto, that's the person that we're working for. Satoshi Nakamoto. It's all just an advanced scheme to create more Bitcoin, of course. And you thought it couldn't get any more advanced. All right, here we go. We have expanded the size of this. I don't even have any room left for the miner itself. Oh, no. So now pretty much everything is automated. Let's just move away these stockpiles. These still kind of look cluttered to my eye. All right, so that's where we're putting in our basic goods. We'll put in more stockpiles over, like, here, where it's eventually gonna... I'm gonna have to move them again. because it's going to get even more confusing. But this actually looks slightly better for now. Wait a minute. Don't empty that. Cancel. Yeah, there we go. Cool. All right, stockpile. Gears. Okay, so that's all gears all the time. Haul this over to there. Fine. Haul this to there. And then, cool, that's what I wanted. And steel ingots. Alright, so that is all done. There's just a bunch of crap kind of lying around everywhere, but it's fine. We're going to take care of it in a moment. So we're putting down more stockpiles here. Nice. Alright, so now maybe we can get out our industrial crimper. So this takes no, actually it doesn't. What is it going to make, though? Oh, it takes copper rods and steel gears, and it makes them into, like, these coils. Oh, but we need to make this in an advanced workbench. Or, okay, we've got a couple of other options. So what is the main thing we're going to need next? We need 2,000 Lucrum. And we actually can't fit the ship here. We need to make this zone larger. How big do we need to make it? That's the main thing. 7 by 7 cannot fit. We're going to need a lot of space for this next load. I think we're going to need to move over our Lucrum miner. Either that or we're just going to need to change our spaceport's orientation. We should probably do that. Uninstall spaceport. Alright, so we're going to have to just redo some of these things. Get rid of that, and the rest, we'll have to move out the Lucrum and redo the whole thing. Chemical Lab 2 can be moved. It's kind of nice how we get this, like, natural features, though. Kind of reminds me of Satisfactory a little bit in that way. If we level this off over here. Yeah, we're going to need a lot of empty space here. I now realize the mistake of putting all of this next to our Lucrum miner. I wonder what this stuff is. We've got, like, this kind of concrete down here that they've sort of pooped out onto this area. Okay, cool. There's just a whole mess of things going on. I don't know how you could keep track of each person's individuality right here. Stonemasonry. You know, we really don't have this. Let's just get more of this stuff. I feel as though we're going to need more burners. And also, I think we've exhausted this node. Or is it still just going? Let me see. Is it actually creating stuff? Oh, does it just get to, like, infinite? Because it's still producing a lot, right? Is it just that we have tons of it left over? No, 160, 161. Okay, it seems as though this might just be infinite copper underneath. I'm not totally sure, to be honest with you. Oh, cool. It even does it out of the sand, sort of way. That's neat. Anyway. Yeah, we do have a lot of space across the creek. Ah, man. You know, I probably should have done that over there. Oh, well. You know, I could probably do another one if I wanted to. Or I could do one that does Lucrum and one that does another one. What if I did it, like, there? Because I think it expands out in the other direction. That way we wouldn't have to waste so many of these conveyor belts anyway. I mean, it does look rather impressive the way I've formatted it, but it's not really that useful, too. Yeah, let's get rid of all of these. Get rid of that. Bring over the Lucrum, haul to there. Okay, now can we expand the size of this? Oh, no clear area. Yeah, I think you're right. Across the creek is going to be better. All right, never mind. Pick up the whole thing. We're moving this operation. We will do the opposite of what I said. It's going to look extremely impressive. Ugh, where do we even go from here? We've got, like, fog of war going on. I guess we're going to have fog of war from enemies, though, then. I mean, if those are going to be added. Oh, alarms, too. Cool. All right, let's cut down more trees on this side. Get that out of the way. It looks terrible. This looks fairly clear right here. So I think if we have it incoming there, then this is going to be... Yeah, we want to be able to expand out in all three directions. So that gives us a huge zone. That's what I'm talking about. All right, we'll put it there. Cool, we've got the Lucrum coming over again. And now if we just do this... There we go, cool. And then we'll put in a feeder right there. Ah, we have, like, traversed the stream. Why is it all white like this, though? Oh, quartz. This is quartz, too. We've gone straight over a quartz deposit. I didn't even realize that was there. Whoa, we're, like, uncovering new elements and things like that. Sweet. Okay, I guess we need another feeder here, though. Yeah, do it like that. And then we will just expand this. Now, how far off can we go in each direction? All right, cool. I guess once we get that tree out of the way, we'll be able to handle the rest of that. In the meantime, let's just go ahead and level off this entire zone. It looks like it's slightly under-leveled right here, so we'll just bring that out. Okay, good. Yeah, that's more or less what I want it to look like. And so that is a big project, but that'll help hopefully make more space for spaceship landing. Cool. All right, so now the Lucrum is going in. Let's also haul over that to there. Nice. All right, and now we have a lot of general stockpiles just for anything else that we have lying around. I don't know why we have some of this stuff, but I guess nobody's gone to it yet. Coke over there. Lucrum. All right, things are actually coming along more or less as they should. Let's see. Missing ingredients. I guess we're not really producing any more coal from here, so maybe once we get to the bottom of this, we actually are out of coal. Oh, we may have to level off this mountain. This is not too good. We may actually have to do this into a third level, like a third Z level. I think we have to deconstruct this and move it over. Yeah, we're running out of goods. So I guess we are going to have to move over to get more of these nodes covered as we go. Which begs the question, how far can we go? And I wonder if we'll have any, like, trees or anything like that. Because I've seen some of the constructions in the later game, and they're pretty large. How much Lucrum do we have, though? Whoops, I didn't mean to deconstruct that. Cool, 223 there. Nice. All right, I guess it seems as though we get enough fuel, more or less, to cover each trade each time we go through. Oh, I've just got to take a little bit of time to let some of this stuff develop. These projects, now I think we've gotten solidly past the beginning part of the game. Or, like, the total noob area. And we are slightly progressing. Our minds have grown bigger and more wrinkled. All right, I've been forgetting to feed my colonists. So inconvenient. Let's go ahead and put some more of those items up here. We have the vending machine. So you can have that and go to bed. And tomorrow will be exactly the same type of day. Here we go. We'll just put the sink in there to maybe degrade everyone and reduce their amount of privacy. Here we go. We could even put up a painting in the room. Will that actually have any benefit for our account? Nah, maybe not. No decorations. Excuse me. Ugh. One painting there. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and see if we get a recipe. All right, we can create more of this. Coke, here we go. And then we do blueprints, 2 conveyor belts. And that goes down once again. Saving. Although I am thankful for the autosave feature. All right, here we go. So we've got enough conveyor belts there. One more. Missing ingredients. Oh, it's horrible. We've gotten to the end of the copper. Oh, there actually was an end to the copper. I stand corrected. It's just a void of what looks like water down there. What is that even, like algae? It begs the question, will we have enough? I think we'll probably get to this Lucrum 115 deposit at the end, and then that's going to be it. I'll probably implode after that. It's going to get bad. All right, cool. So we're getting more of that. We're getting more conveyor belts. Amazing. 2,000 Lucrum 115. So can we create another one of these miners? I think we probably won't be able to because it's just far too advanced for you and me. High-tech workbench. Yeah, we won't be able to make... Yeah, we're going to need way more advanced ingredients for that. So what about our advanced workbench, though? No, here it is. Also, I haven't said anything about it, but I do like the soundtrack here. Isn't it nice? It sounds good. Okay, here we go. Advanced workbench. So what could we create here? Industrial crimper. So more of pretty much what we already got. Oh, a regeneration pod, of course. With only copper and steel. How could I forget? Yes, such an easy technology to create. Lucrum smelter. Oh, this makes Lucrum 1, so I guess we have to process this into Evermore. This is sort of like in Factorio when you think you're at the end, and you're still like 10 or 15 steps away from it. And then you just feel like you have a small brain. Yeah, people are starting to get more and more unhealthy here. Shinji is just standing underneath. What is he doing? Oh, you've spent too much time in the bathroom, Shinji. You'll have to make up with that with a few years of hard labor. Do better. No. When will they obtain freedom and self-actualization? Oh, we have to get this mining drill out of here. We have to keep moving. Yeah, I think pretty much the only thing we can really do here is just get more Lucrum 115. There are probably a couple of other contracts that we could complete, but this is a rather demanding one. So I think we'll just zoom up to when we get that. So we have got another contract that popped up for 200 copper rods, and that's going to give us a lot more fuel. I figure that fuel is just kind of tricky to come by right now, because actually it isn't that bad, but we don't really have much else to do with our time, so I figure why not? And it'll also give us a shotgun, which is kind of useful, so we'll do it. We need 200 copper rods, which is actually a pretty good deal. And I have created enough of a launch pad space here. It's nice to clear this out. It looks like a real airfield right here. So we're going to use that next, and we do have enough room. But let me see here. We'll probably just end up hauling those. But if we can create those copper rods, that might just give us a little something else to do. Which I'm guessing we're using ingots to create that, right? I guess we could just pick up some of these from our stockpile. I mean, we've got so many of them after all. Recipe to craft. Okay, so we need a punch press. All right. How do we create a punch press again? We've got another one of these over, I think, here. Conveniently enough, we can create 22 of them. All right, that should be easy enough. So now we actually can put our workers onto higher-minded tasks. Everyone is sort of starving slightly. Oh, which reminds me, we were also going to create like a goo regeneration pod. It's nice that we have this. Let's put it maybe up a little bit. It's good to see, though, that we have a variety of, like, household furniture. Step into the goo pod, everyone's favorite place to chill out and relax. Let's put it over here. We aren't really doing too much over there. This should be interesting. Kind of reminds me of, there used to be this segment on the Nickelodeon channel where people would get slimed, which sounds a little bit bizarre, and it was. It was very unusual. But maybe someone will get slimed in here right now. So do we have to assign someone to be regenerated? Now we'll just wait and watch and see if anyone decides to enter the regeneration pod from all those times I accidentally slightly starved everyone in here. Just ignore that. Forget about it. It'll get better eventually. Let's see if we can get one of these things over to over here and just ignore that. Turn. Here we go. Rotation. I gotta say, all the controls for like rotate, shift up, shift down. That's an area where these games can get it wrong. It feels perfectly fine to me. Nothing feels weird about it. It feels great. So, controls good. Controls could have been bad, but they were really good. I feel. This type of game is really hard to execute, right? I have no idea what I'm talking about because I'm not a game developer, but I know it when I see it, and it does feel right here, you know what I'm saying? Okay, let's see. We've got one of those. So we are now delivering copper rods to that. And now if we put a punch press here, there we go. Okay, so now we can create another stockpile zone for... We're getting close to our airfield here, so we've just got to be careful. But cool, we've got enough fuel coming out from the Lucrum miner. I wonder if we could also just mine out Lucrum by hand. Can we do that? Mine. Oh, we actually can. So now that we have so many people, why not just put them off to Lucrum mining itself? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, everyone work by hand. We won't be doing any automation in this game. We're just going to be getting... which kind of begs the question, could you play it with like 100 colonists and just have them all mining? We may never know. Now, another thing that's in the game while I'm at it is that you can actually draft people. And can we move you over to this goo regeneration pod? No. I'm pretty hungry. Oh well. Undraft you. Now they do get that kind of like RimWorld looking draft thing, so that is nice. Let me see if I can get another one of these Mr. Soylent machines. How do I create this? I don't even have the resources for it. Hopefully you'll go get something to eat later. Well, I mean, I'm probably just going to stop when I get to 2,000 Lucrum, so I'll get there before you all perish. Which begs the question, does that mean that you're slightly less loyal to me? I actually have not really seen anyone get annoyed at me. I guess maybe that's a mechanic they're, like, implementing. Who knows? All right, what else do we have over here? 429 Lucrum. Okay, we'll bring that over there. We have just acquired enough Lucrum in order to do the ultimate trade, the greatest trade, 2,000 of these, for which we get some sort of laser beam, and I think it's going to be one of the biggest ships that we have seen up till this point. But more or less, we've gotten to like the end of where I feel we would get from kind of a jump start or an early game base. I even did a little bit of manual mining here just to see if we could do that, and we did do a little bit of it, so that was nice. We just got a little bit more of that lying around. But now we have copper rods and stuff like that. We could do another spaceport. I guess maybe we could over here, actually, just for, like, fun. But, yeah, I mean, that is the general gist of... Yeah, we'll do, like, a little one there. See if we can get 2 ships in at once. Amazing. But, yeah, that is pretty much where my logistics brain ends, because I have a very small, smooth brain for logistics. But I am a quick learner. I will give myself that. And, yeah, these games always get to me to the point where it's like, oh, you can do that, and then your head explodes when you learn of all the incredible possibilities that lay in store ahead of you. Looks like we have about enough for these. I think we can get in 2 trades. Okay, the ship has finally arrived, and this is a chunky, thick boy. Look at the size of that ship. That's almost as big as the Lego ship that your mom would never buy you because she said it had too many pieces and it would be all over the floor. Look at all of the Lucrum entering the ship, and what is it going to poop out? Look at the size of that. The people we work for must be so powerful. And what do they give us? Nothing. All right, we are going to trade for some of these copper rods. We aren't really going to get anything. That's pretty much where I'm going to... hang on a second. Actually, I don't really even see the point of this one. Like, we already got all of the fuel I wanted. We actually did okay with that. Here we go, 7x7. But it's nice to know that you can have multiple spaceports. Oh, it would have been cool to have them entering and leaving at the same time. But I just thought this would be, like, a cool thing to see. Also, too, it'd be nice if I could change the camera angle, but I could still get a pretty good look at things right here. It just takes so long for all that good Lucrum ore to enter the ship. All right, and we are just loading up the last of that Lucrum. And let's see what we get here from this trade. So for this event, we were going to get 2 weapons and 2 people. So we got Haruto and Minako, who are forcibly being made to labor for our part. I just wanted to see this sweet animation when this ship leaves. Look at this. Wow. Incredible. Technology truly knows no limits, and we will all be replaced by the AI eventually. I can't wait for it. I'm excited. Anyway, I think that's about as much factory as we can get in for today. There is a little bit more. I guess we could keep going on with these events, but I'm curious to see what happens beyond, what lay beyond in early access. With the, maybe we'll get some enemies or something like that. If we had, like, some bugs or, I don't know what they'll be, aliens attacking our colony or something like that. Or just angry, disenfranchised miners. That would be interesting, too, if they seize the means of production. But anyway, it has been irreplaceable and perfect in every way. Anyway, once again, Dawn Apart, sponsored by Astrological and Industrial Technology and Witchcraft, the ultimate logistics, colony management, Minecrafty, voxely looking kind of experience. And this game is extremely ambitious, and I will be curious to see where it lay later on in early access when they add in enemies. I truly want an antagonist the likes of which we have not seen. Maybe the Soylent Green will rise back up. Maybe we will fight some angry miners. Who knows what it'll be. But I have to probably go and feed some of these people because they're looking pretty hungry. And this man is just having an existential crisis as he stares in the mirror and thinks, what is it all for? But I think that's about it for today. As always, I'm Ambiguous Amphibian, and thanks for watching, everybody.